everybody, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with our series of horrible Newcastle United Ghosts of the Past in the See You Next Tuesday series. Yes, we're on episode 4 this time, and I've saved an absolute corker for you in episode 4. We're not ranking these in any particular order because I have a feeling that this next inductee may be number 1 with a bullet. We're going to get stuck right into this and talk about this horrible player. That's really, I'm not setting them up for a good start right from the get go, am I? But yeah, it's a player who's been synonymously associated with just rankness in a Newcastle United shirt. And he's not done himself any favours since he left Newcastle United by opening his big fat mouth when he's not, riding his horses and talking absolute bollocks on BT Sport. Yes, you guessed it. Easy clues. It's this chap right here, a certain Michael Owen. Yes, now you remember way back when in 2005, Michael Owen signed for Newcastle United. I was buzzing. We're all buzzing. Michael Owen was one of the best in the business. There's no doubt about that. Left Liverpool, went to Real Madrid. Actually did really well for Real Madrid in the Galacticos. His goal-to-game ratio was brilliant. The Real Madrid fans really liked him, but he was obviously up against Raul and Morientes and Ronaldo and all these other players. So he wanted to come back to England. And as the little shithouse has happily told anybody who will listen, even those who won't, they wanted to come back to Liverpool, but Liverpool couldn't get the money together. So apparently the Real Madrid president said, we've got a bid in for you. We've set the price. The bid is 16 million quid. And they said, an English club have bid at 16.8 million quid for you. So he said, happy days, right. Ready to pack his bags, back to Liverpool. And he said, no, it's Newcastle. And then Michael Owen, in disgust, said, well, I can't go to Newcastle. I'm not going to Newcastle. So long story short, he ended up in Newcastle. He came to Newcastle United with a big smile on his face, lying to every single fucking one of us. People actually went to St. James's Park and turned out for this prick. A bit like what we did for Shearer. They were inside the stadium. He was walking around with his number 10 shirt. He was saying, I'm going to bring goals and all that stuff. And everyone was cheering. Everybody was buzzing. We got the England's main striker there. She was getting old, and this guy can step into his shoes afterwards and place the goals. And we were buzzing, and Michael Owen was lying to us the entire time, which is shithousery on the next level. But it did start quite well for Michael. He scored something like 11 goals in 14 games, linked up really well with Shearer. He broke his foot, I think it was New Year's Day, I believe it was, against Spurs with Paul Robinson, broke his metatarsal. That was him knacked for the whole season. And the biggest problem you had with Michael Owen is he cared more about playing for England than he did for Newcastle United. And that was pretty evident that. I mean, in the 4 years he was here in total, Michael Owen played for 79 times. He got 30 goals. So his goal-to-game ratio when he played still wasn't bad. And 2 assists, probably when Keegan dropped him into this weird number 10 position that actually gave him a bit of a rejuvenation of his career, because everyone thought he was ruined for that because Rooney had come on the scene and knocked him out the way as England's main golden boy and everything else. But yeah, he was shit for us really in the main, short of a brace against the Mackhams. It's probably the best thing that he's got on his Newcastle CV. In general, he cared more about England than he did about Newcastle, which is why he allowed Sven-Göran Eriksson to take him to the World Cup after he played all of something like 40 minutes against Reading in a drab 0-0 draw, I think it was. First game of the World Cup, he goes left, his knee goes right, that's him knackered. And Newcastle United's main man is injured for the entire season. He didn't give a shit. He was more interested in England than he was about Newcastle United. And that was really the beginning of the end, I think, for Michael Owen and a lot of Newcastle United fans' eyes. I think after that, we all just got the impression he didn't really want to play for us. And we sunk further and further down in the table. Obviously, we had loads of managerial catastrophes. Keegan walked, and we ended up with the absolute, disaster of Joe Kinnear, and then Shearer tried to save us, and he couldn't. And when Shearer came in as manager, you thought you might have got a little something out of Michael Owen, but he just went completely missing in the season that we went down. More to the point where Andy Carroll was preferred over him at Villa Park to try and win us a game. And that just goes to show you what Shearer thought about Michael Owen. And apparently the story goes is that Michael was already eyeing up his summer transfer move, and he didn't want to get injured, which is why I think Shearer didn't play him. That's why they don't speak anymore. And since Michael's come out, he's not done himself any favours, as I said, to endear himself, not just to Newcastle fans, but to football fans as well. I mean, he's ruined his legacy at Liverpool by going to play for Man United. That's who he went to after we got relegated. He was in Manchester quicker than you could say Championship. That's how quickly he went out. Had he stayed with us and tried to get us promoted, I think his stock would have risen in a lot of football fans' eyes. I think people would have thought a bit more about Michael Owen than they do now. But he couldn't give a rat's ass. He went to Liverpool. So he went to Manchester United, beg your pardon, pissed all over his Liverpool legacy, won himself a Premier League medal, God knows why, apart from that one goal against Man City did fuck all, really. Scored a hat-trick against a bunch of fishermen in the Champions League, and then counts himself as a Manchester United legend. But yeah, not a very likable chap, in all fairness, Michael Owen. Forget his footballing ability, just a bit of a wank. And I think he showed that to everybody in his punditry. And this is sadly how Michael Owen will be remembered in many Newcastle United fans' eyes as just a complete sick note, holding his leg there, wincing in pain, wanting to get off the pitch as quick as he can. There's another thing that he did just to close on Michael Owen, and why he firmly deserves his place on the See You Next Tuesday list, is he came out and he said apparently every single summer he was at Newcastle, he was begging Jamie Carragher and Steven Gerrard to get him back to Liverpool every single summer. And he said that with a straight face, no respect whatsoever. Now Newcastle United have been bought by, the PIF, and we're heading in the right direction. He's slowly just trying to say nice things about Newcastle and Eddie Howe and trying to get back in. This little wank will never be forgiven by Newcastle United fans. It should have been brilliant for you, Michael. You should have scored over 100 goals for us. You should have been thought of as one of the best centre forwards that we've ever had. But sadly, you will always be thought of as the title says, a See You Next Tuesday of Newcastle United, and one of the horror stories that we've had in the past. Pound for pound, the worst signing we've probably ever made as a football club. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with that. But that's me done for another See You Next Tuesday. We'll be back with another horror story soon enough in this series. If this is the kind of thing you like, consider subscribing. We'd love you to come on board and join us. We're over 2,800 subs now. Smash the button. You won't regret it. We have 2 live shows every Mondays and Wednesdays. And then we also have pop-up videos just like the See You Next Tuesday one that you've watched. So yes, thanks for nothing, Michael, but thank you for watching. This is Chris signing off. We'll catch you again soon. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.